Hey everyone, I am back. So I am clearly in my chair here looking the most relaxed I can, and I am, as I'm going to be drinking this because my throat starts to hurt after I talk for a long period of time. Anyways, so moving on to the subject at hand. Today I wanted to talk about a recent trip of mine to Honduras, how I got there, what happened, and why I think I'd like to not only go back there, but to do other travels. But specifically, I'd like to do more mission trips. So before I go into this story, I'm going to have my husband come around this way. Brian, can you please come here? Pretty please.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, so this is my other half, Mr. Brian. Say hi.
Hello.
He looks so excited to be in this video. He is my videographer. Is that the word I'm looking for? Videographer?
Yeah. I know I'm not doing a good job, but yeah.
Oh, don't listen to him. He's really good. Okay. So, all right, to this story. So recently, my husband and I went to Honduras right before Christmas, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Weekend after Thanksgiving. So, okay, so what happened is this was actually a mission trip from the church that we joined here in Seattle. I have been talking about doing a mission trip for a really long time. I feel like that's one of my gifts that God has given me, the act of service, serving someone else. And so for a really long time, I have been talking about doing a mission trip during this trip. I've talked to him about it ad nauseum, and he's just like, all right, just do it. And then like opportunities came around. I kind of was like, oh, no. Like at my old home church in Cincinnati, there was like an opportunity to go to like South Africa, and I just dropped the ball on it. It just didn't happen. So I said, before I moved, I said a little prayer to God, and I said, okay, God, if you really want me to do a mission trip, then please present an opportunity. And sure enough, we're sitting in church one Sunday, and then our pastor's like, there's a mission trip going to Honduras soon. I said, okay, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and I did. And then I talked to Brian about it, and he wanted to do it as well, but he was kind of nervous about, whether or not his job was going to let him have the time off to do it. And God is good, because he did, and we were actually able to do this mission trip together. So so there's that. So we left the day after Thanksgiving, and it was Brian and I, my pastor, and three other guys. So I was the only girl on this trip, and that was actually kind of fun. I actually like being the only chick sometimes in a group of dudes, but it was very interesting. And so we actually traveled. The project was we were going to spend a week in Roatan, Honduras. We were going to build a house for a family, and it was a married couple and their 3 boys. And unfortunately, the husband had fallen down on hard times. I think he got in an accident where he had to have multiple surgeries on his back, so he wasn't able to work for a really long period of time. So they were just like in a place of transition, and they had nowhere to go. So through this place, that's not a place. It's like a type of missionary service down in Honduras. The company's called Dwellings, and so basically, this company, these group of wonderful people goes. They interview people and decide who needs a house. Their whole project is just building houses for families. So they go around the island and they build homes. In this particular, this case, it was our turn to build this family this house. I've never built a home before. I've never even hit a nail with a hammer. I didn't know how to do that. Neither does he. So we were kind of like, luckily enough, we actually had a contractor in our group, and then we had another person who was really good with he was like an electrician of sorts. So they kind of, with their help, and then with the team, the particular Dwellings team leader, we were able to get this shit done, because I was like, I have no idea. I've never built a house before, ever. I don't know. It's like, I just need you guys to guide me, and they did, and they were really good. So this wasn't necessarily a luxury trip. I mean, Brian and I have been to Honduras before, but again, we were on another part of the island where it was like touristy, and it was really nice. And the part that we were in was like There were starving dogs everywhere. There was garbage everywhere. People were living in essentially like homes made of like tin. There, I mean, it's just that is how that the real Honduras is. So that's what we were staying, or that's what we were building a home in. And we worked day in and day out. We worked for 5 days. We have 4 days to build a home. We have 4 days to build a home. I wish I had, my editing skills were better, I would show you like what we started with, which was basically like a platform to build a home on, and where we started, which was, you know, the home ended up it was a wood house, and ended up having, we had a kitchen, bathroom, indoor plumbing, shower area, 3 triple bunk beds for the boys, a bed for the family, the husband and wife. It was actually kind of incredible. I was just so happy and so blessed to be part of this project. So, so Brian and I, our assignment of sorts was we were to measure out the parts of the plywood and the wood that, you know, the contractors needed. So that's what we did. We actually like hit nails and hammers, and we didn't injure ourselves. Well, there was this one time actually a hammer did fall on my head, and it really did hurt, but I was fine. I think that was the only injury on that particular that trip. And everything, I mean, it just turned out really great. So I mean, I don't want this video to go 30 minutes and plus, because it can easily go that way. I mean, there's just so much to talk about. But it was just nice. This was a different trip for us because, one, we were in a position where we were helping someone. We're going to another country, not to like live this, you know, American life of luxury, but to actually help someone and to see how this particular house is like help them. And you don't, growing up here in America, you just don't see, like, I think we just take it so often for granted that a house is even available to us. Like, I mean, yeah, you can buy, anybody can buy a house here in America, but to have someone build a home for you and just to see that this is the beginnings and it's going to change the trajectory of their life is incredible. I mean, we really did like form a bond with this family and just see, you know, what number one, that they were going to be, you know, in a safer environment, which would be their home, and just to see like really I still like to keep up with the families to see where they're going to be in a year and what they've chosen to do. But I mean, I just can't even explain to you how big a deal just having a home is. And for me, I think it was definitely an eye-opening experience because I said we were on the island of Roatan, and even though we've been there before, like we saw really like the actual poverty that people, like I think his name is Tom, but the owner of Dwellings essentially told us that in this particular part of Honduras, they only get running water once a week, and for the area where they get the water, it only runs for 2 hours. So everyone in the village has to get water it only runs for 2 hours once a week. So this is their water supply for the entire week. I mean, you just don't think about that because you have here unlimited access to water. I mean, you know. Anyway, so I mean, it was traveling to another place. This is a little different because, like I said, it's not a luxury. It's not a luxury tour. You're actually helping people. And I mean, I don't know. I know everyone believes different things, and everyone has conflicting and mixed emotions about mission trips. But I think that it really changed my perspective on how I am here. I mean, how to explain it. It changed me living here in America, but it changed just my perspective on things in life and like kind of like what I choose to spend money on and how careful I am and where I think the money that I should be spending on myself and where I feel like that should go to. And Brian feels the same way. Like I don't feel necessarily the need to spend as much money or do such frivolous things as I did before. And I don't want that to come off as self-righteous, but I do feel like that trip has changed me. And I you know, Brian and I want to, for 2016, do another mission trip. There's a lot kind of going on in our lives right now. We're about to like look at buying a house and, you know, maybe start a family, maybe. Yeah, that's how we feel about it. So, but I mean, we just ask God, you know, to present another option so we can go somewhere else in the world and just to see and be in an environment and and see really how like people are. I think there's something very authentic about being with people in their own environment. I don't know if that's coming across as it's different when you go to another country and you get like, oh, this is your touristy experience. And I'm not saying, I don't want this to come off as like a poverty tourist type of video, because that's not what it is. I absolutely don't believe in that. Like, I'm just saying, I think that I don't know. I think I've turned my shift when it comes to traveling to more of like a tourist to like really hearing and connecting with people from that particular area. What that means is like actually being with them, being in their environment, being, present with them on their day-to-day lives. And I don't know, I found it really, it was really refreshing. And then it's not only that, I would also say that being in an environment like where Brian and I stayed, it was like this little hotel, maybe if you could even call it, but it was like this little, it was right on the beach. Like you could take 50 steps out and the beach would be right there. But our room had literally like the bare necessities. It had like a bathroom, a shower, a bed. That is it. There weren't any like extras, like TV and it had Wi-Fi and all that, but I didn't use that. And I found that simplicity very refreshing, and I really appreciate it because I feel like it gives you an opportunity to disconnect from, Facebook and Instagram and all that to really focus. And really, I'm a very spiritual person. I like try to meditate and disconnect as often as I can. So I don't know. So I know I'm kind of like all over the place with that, but I just thought that was just really, I kind of gave me more focus to focus on this trip and to focus on what I really needed to get done and what I need to do for this family. So I don't know. Like everyone believes different things, so I can't say do a mission trip, but I just found it to be exponentially beneficial, and I can't wait to do it again. I hope God takes me somewhere else in the world. I don't know, we're kind of talking about there's this trip it's a medical mission trip to Romania. So I don't know, I will let you guys know, but is there anything that you would like to add, your experiences? You can say no, because I think I've talked a lot. I'm just going to drink this tea if you have anything to say.
I don't really think I have anything else to add to what my wife has already said. I think she said everything that I would say.
Yeah.
So, but if you're a part of a church and you believe in going out and not just serving the local community but your global community, and if you've never ever done a mission trip before, then I would seriously consider, really think about and pray about and talk about going on a mission trip, because it could really change your life, or at least your perspective on life.
Yeah, I agree with that. And actually, the next video, or one of the next series of videos, I would actually challenge. When I speak about challenge, I do mean traveling to other places in the globe wherever you choose, but I also would challenge to travel within your own city. Travel to areas and talk to people that you may not necessarily know. And actually, what we're going to be doing in the next week. Brian and I feel, as husband and wife, feel very called to serve our community. And like I said, even that means traveling across Seattle to meet someone that you may not necessarily like mingle with. I think that's a part of traveling too, meeting people that you normally would never meet on normal circumstances. So my next video, I think Brian will be in it too, but we are actually going to be serving our community by making a meal for a family of, several families.
Yeah.
Yes, several families. We'll be making meals for several families and just talking about really the importance of, like I said, I know this is a travel vlog, but I also stress the importance of traveling within your own city and meeting people that you normally wouldn't hang out with and normally wouldn't, commune with. I guess that's the right word I want to use. So, in my video, I kind of just talk about like what we're doing and like I said, traveling to the other side of Seattle to meet someone else. So thank you very much for listening to this long video on Honduras. It was great. It's a beautiful place. Amidst with the poverty in tow, it still is a gorgeous place. And I don't know, the people were really nice and very receptive to us. I was very nervous about doing a mission trip because I know people have mixed feelings about mission trips. But the people were great, and it just made me feel really blessed to be in that environment, and I can't wait to do something like that again. So, anyways, thank you for listening to that.
Yeah, and if you have any questions or comments about our Honduras mission trip, or you want to find out more information about Dwellings, which was a service that helps set up building homes for families in need, not only in Honduras, but in many places around the world, please feel free to leave a comment on this video or to send us a message. Thank you.
Thank you.